What effect would a 44% capital gains tax have on your company? It would probably not affect us very much at all because we don't have capital gains. But it would actually be absolutely brutal for a lot of people. Like, it would really harm the economy quite badly. By the way, that includes tax on unrealized capital gains. My conspiracy theory is they decided Joe Biden is not going to be the candidate. So they're trying to make him as unpopular as possible to have an excuse to get him out. Yeah, like maybe the next step is, if I make a mistake on my game design and the game doesn't sell as well as it could have if I made a better game design, maybe they can tax me on the design I should have made instead of the one I actually made. Dude, any form of unrealized capital gains is going to be so destructive. Like, America is still the place where people start companies. That will end instantly the moment there's any unrealized capital gains tax. Instantly. Even if like people are talking about like, oh, the Elizabeth Warren one, like, oh, it's only 1%. It's 1% a year or whatever it was, right? Compound that for like 20 years and tell me how much it is. And that's on top of income taxes. One genius saying, who will build the roads? I mean, the thing about who will build the roads is back when we were a much poorer country, we built hell a lot of roads and they were way better than roads today. So like, we can build the roads on not that much money, it seems like. Congress won't let it stand. I hope so. I hope it's just not even real. They can't be that crazy, dude. It was such a giant stink fart bomb that they laid today. It's unbelievable. Like, it's almost like that time the summer intern posted something really super far left wing. I don't even remember what that was. Marginal tax rates were also much higher. No, not in the time period I'm talking about. No, they weren't. But also, okay, since there's a high marginal tax rate bozo in the chat, I'll bring up this chart. Because everybody's like, oh, back in the 40s or whenever, it was really high. Okay, this graph is all you need to know about that. All right. What this graph is how much money does the federal government receive as a percentage of GDP? And starting in 1944, right, until now, the graph is basically flat. There have been many depressions and, recessions in here. There have been many different income tax policy regimes. Okay. Many changes to the tax bracketing. It doesn't matter. Okay. Except for like noise. The federal government is already getting as much money as it can because this graph is flat. And changes to tax policy will not result in it getting more unless somebody discovers something amazing. Changes to tax policy will only punish people more and make them poorer. Okay? Is that linear or log? No, it's linear. You can see the percents on the side, hopefully, if Twitch compression isn't ruining it. This is 80 years of data. Okay? It's been flat for 80 years. Okay? So now the top marginal tax rate time that people are talking about is like in here. This big spike here is when they raised it, I think. And then it declined rapidly as people took measures to protect their money, or companies just went out of business. New companies didn't get formed, whatever, right? I think actually this is more about protecting money because the GDP probably also didn't grow at the expected rate, although that data is not shown here, right? And then they changed it because it was horrible. So don't be telling me like, oh, we should have 90% tax bracket. It like doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Are the vertical gray stripes points of recession? I believe so. That's typical for a lot of, yeah. So you see 2008 financial crisis is the start of one. Although I didn't realize there was like a Reagan recession in 82. Is that real? I guess so. Anyway, you can notice, hey, there's a recession coinciding exactly with when they raised the rates. Okay. You weren't saying that. Okay. Well, a lot of people do, so I'm primed to react as if people did. But this is why, here's the thing, and again, this is what bothers me about all this. Of course, politicians want things to argue about loudly and blah, 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 right? But anyone in charge of actual budgeting for the US understands this graph, okay? And understands the consequences of this graph. Therefore, those people can advise Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden or whoever, right? So when they come out with these crazy tax policies about pay your fair share and all this stuff, right? It's just because they think you're ignorant. And most people are ignorant because I never even heard of this graph till like a few weeks ago. All right? I was ignorant about this. But it's like they want you to be ignorant so that they can use this political ammo. But like it literally does not matter. What matters is what's the GDP and is it going up? The way the federal government can get more money to spend on services for people is by raising GDP, and that's basically it. I mean, yes, you could try to be higher up in this realm, this relatively flat realm of this graph, but like easier said than done, right? So that's just like once you understand this data, it's like, wow, all of these arguments are complete bullshit. None of these conversations are real at all. And yeah, afuera. I am on team afuera.